There it is. I've never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I've got three other lads in the building tonight. To my right is Mitchell. You look like you've caught a tan, Mitch. How are you doing?
Not really sad. I've got a red cunt. I'm not like Lucas. Lucas is blessed.
I love Mitch, mate. He's quality. He's quality.
Oh, we got a nice sun-kissed tan yesterday. It was nice.
Yeah. Well, West Ham Online. How are you?
Good, very good.
Yeah. And Lucas, all the way from the US of A. How are you? How's your hangover?
We're good, but we did catch a little tan. Nice little something. A little white and tan to compare.
I know, mate. I know. Look at him. Look, he's fucking tan. Right. So let's get into it.
Tan, we can be friends.
I know, mate. I know. Right, let's get into it. Yesterday, Luton. Mitch, take it away. What did you think? Because I'm going to be honest, I didn't see the game yesterday. I was really, really busy yesterday, and I need people to give their fair assessment of the game who did watch it. So, Mitch, what did you think?
Again, quite underwhelmed overall. I thought it was much better though than the previous performances, but still not quite good enough. I still thought we really lacked some creativity going forward. I think the wing play is just too common. We go to the wings, basically all our attacking options. It seems in pre-season and in the second half of the season as well. Okay, so all right, I'm just going to address this point first of all. Mitch, where were you when Suchek scored? Eating your humble pie. Okay, he scored one goal in pre-season. I'll eat humble pie if there's a blinding season next season, which won't fucking happen. But I was happy when he scored. I thought fucking fair play. He had a good game yesterday. It's probably the best he's played in like fucking months and months and months. Probably since Watford. And I'm not even joking. It was like I haven't seen him play that well, and I'll give him the praise when he plays well, as with anyone, and I'll criticise anyone when anyone plays shit. And Suchek is fucking shit in my opinion. He's not going to do well next season. Anyway,
carry on, the game.
Right, carry
on, son. Lay it all out, bro.
Come up for air real quick.
No, I just fucking. Okay, Mitch wants to sell Kostic in January. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Just don't talking shit.
Mick, do yourself a favour, yeah? Stop looking at the fucking comments. Look at me, brother. How about that? That would help. Mitch, obviously yesterday's game, yeah? I think Lucas said it yesterday, yeah? Was the first 20 minutes awful, in your opinion? Or was it good?
Really bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was thinking those first 20 minutes, I was thinking, oh my God, each pre-season game, it's getting worse and worse. Like, I want to see us improving. We're getting fucking worse and worse in each pre-season. And but no, to be fair, after that we did pick it up a bit. Especially in the first half. I didn't think we ended really strongly. But again, it's all build up and just no end product. And it is a worry, and I don't care if people say it's only pre-season. For me, the way we play is still important. The players that play is still important to look at them and see how they play in the system. As Alfie has always said many times, which he's bang on about, the result does not matter. It's purely about the performance and how we play. Obviously, it's not as important in terms of performance-wise compared to how we play in Premier League games, but it's still interesting to see how certain players get on. For example, I'm worried about Ben Rama. I thought he had a very mixed bag season last season. I know his stats don't really say that. He says that he had a good season. But I still think he's very inconsistent. And in pre-season, to me, he showed absolutely nothing. Besides on a free kick he scored against Bournemouth Wood. I'm quite worried. And again, that left wing spot is really open. So Kostic, as we'll get on to, I'm sure, for me is a must. And that's about it, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, good man. West Ham Online, did you watch the game yesterday?
I did, yeah. I did.
What did you think?
Well, as Mitch just mentioned, when we spoke about it on the space yesterday, I said I thought the performance was a little bit better, which I would have expected because it was Luton, who are a worse team than Rangers on paper. But at the same time, there's still some glaring issues. Don't get me wrong, we did deserve to win the game, and it was ridiculous that we didn't win it. But I don't really care about the result. There was still some major issues with the performance. One of them, in my opinion, was our predictability in attack. Mitch kind of just mentioned it just then. We seem to go down the wing more than any team I've seen in my entire life. And it's all on the left. So we'll start all our build-up play on the left wing.
Yeah.
Look for Rice to make a switch at the perfect moment to Soufal, who's isolated on the right. And that seems to be the pattern that we continuously look to do, just switching it to Soufal, Bowen and Souček get in the box. That's how we score most of our goals. And we do need something in the centre, and it is a bit worrying how predictable we are at times. And I hope that Scamacca and if we get Zielinski, that they'll shake things up a little bit in the centre and offer us a different dimension. One thing I will say that I thought of, Antonio missed another one-on-one, and don't get me wrong, missing that many one-on-ones, I think it's 3 or 4 already in pre-season, is pathetic, and his finishing throughout the whole of pre-season has been terrible. But I do think we're much more unpredictable when he plays. We seem to go through the centre a little bit more because we had a focal point. The same with Vlasic. I think Vlasic looked a lot better in pre-season than he did last season, and most of his play comes through the centre. So that's something to keep an eye on, because we need to make sure we don't go out to the wing too much. We need to have options in the centre as well. So overall, I thought it was decent. Certainly not good. And if we want to do well in the league this season, we need to improve a little bit. But it is only pre-season. You can't read too much into it. But at the same time, there's still glaring weaknesses.
But we are 2 weeks away from Manchester City now.
Yeah.
2 weeks is will come around very, very quickly. Lucas.
Yeah, as Alfie just pointed out, all of our play seems to come down from the left, and rightfully so, because we can't build up from the right in any sense. It doesn't matter who's starting over there, Soufal, Ben Johnson. I mean, I'm comfortable with Soufal, but he doesn't really build up play. So knowingly,
And Bowen, in my opinion.
Yeah, and every squad knows when they're playing against us, we're just going to go down the left and see what happens. But yeah, yesterday, first 20, 25 minutes were absolutely horrendous. And I do think it is due to the lack of intensity, and Luton were just, I guess, more up for it than we were in the first 25 minutes, because I thought their press was absolutely insane. They were just all over us.
Next week they start their championship campaign, don't they?
Yeah. So
next week. So,
but just to reiterate, everyone, I mean, I don't really care about the results. I care about the performances. And so far this preseason, we just have not looked good as a team. There's been way too many better individual performances than seeing the full chemistry of the team. And it is a bit concerning, but there are a few players that have had good preseasons, in my opinion. Souček had a really good match yesterday, and hopefully that is an arc with more to come. But yeah, really not much to say about yesterday. We started horrible. We got better. If we did have our full squad and it was a Premier League match, we'd win. But again, I want to see us last preseason match. I want to see us have a good team performance instead of 3 or 4 individuals that are playing well.
Yeah. Listen, after what I said on the other day about the Rangers game, which I weren't the best pleased about, I sort of give Saturday's game a miss just to see. Not winning the game is a bit of a concern to me, because I don't think we really done anything to win games at the minute. But I will say this: Souček scoring goals is a good sign. If we're getting balls into the box and he's there, he's putting his body about, then it's all good. It's all good. But let's move away from that game, because that is meaningless. Let's talk
Can
about...
I make one more comment quickly? Just one more comment.
Go ahead.
if we're to play a back three in the future, if we are going to continue to use this plan in certain games, and X did say it will be a plan B, we cannot play Kurt Zuma in the centre of the three centre backs, basically, because on the ball he was absolutely shocking yesterday.
Right.
But beyond that,
but we will get onto that. We'll get onto. I've got that all lined up because I want to talk about the system later on. But let's talk about Scamacca. Mitchell, this man is coming. We are finally getting a striker after 18 fucking months. Thoughts?
Looks like it. I'm still not saying it yet because I'm still worried about those little clauses that the agent wants and that. So look, it's pretty much done, but I'm not getting too excited about it yet. I will wait till I see him in the West Ham shirt because I thought Broja was basically coming. At one point, X said Broja was basically coming, and even Lingard, mate. So I just want to be a little bit careful. But it does look like he's coming. I'm very excited. He's got the profile of a striker that could really do well in the Premier League. The era of those kind of strikers ain't really here anymore. I think like 8 years ago in the Premier League, when you had people like Van Persie, even Drogba, Diego Costa, some real like kind of tall strikers that could really do well in the Premier League. I think he fits in that mould where he's technically very good. He can pass the ball well. He's got a hell of a strike on him, and he's controlling the ball. He's just second to none. Like he's very tidy. He keeps really tight to his feet, and he can manipulate in tight areas. He can also turnaround as well, and I think that's really important. That does remind me of Arnautovic, the way he used to do it. And I think that's why players like Haller never worked. Yeti, they weren't ambitious enough. They didn't try different things out with the defender to the back. He's also got a lot about him. He shows that he's got his energy about him, his presence, and I think that's so important. So,
is he the right choice, Mitch? Before I go on to West Ham Online, is he right? Is he right for West Ham? Right,
he's right. I would have preferred other strikers ahead of him. Not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, he's still a very good striker, in my opinion, and I'm still very happy because we've needed striker for so long. The last striker we signed, I was talking about a couple of days ago on Twitter, was fucking Albion Yeti. By the way, I'm just gonna say this quickly. When he made his first, I think his second appearance for us in the cup, I don't know, West Ham fan cam, I got obliterated on that. For saying a Yeti is not the right striker for West Ham. He will never have a good future here. He doesn't have the attributes to become a top striker for us. I got so smashed out by us. Everyone was saying to me, "Oh, Mitch, you're talking shit. Negative as always. Give the kid a break. He's his only second game." But sometimes I feel like personally, I can just see attributes in a player where they're going to do well. Vlasic, when he came in, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure that when I saw the first few appearances, it could prove me wrong. But I'm still not fully sold on Vlasic. I wasn't when he first came in. I didn't see his attributes, how he could contribute to West Ham, and the same was with Yeti. But Scamacca, I can see a way where he can really work with the team. His link-up play is great, and I think the way we use that, we could really work well. But also, if we do play our shitty system where we just get balls in the front and centre, which I personally don't like, he will get on the end of them. So he's guaranteed goals in that department anyway. But I think I want to play a system with Scamacca which keeps the ball on the floor a lot more. I don't want us to see a 6'5" man and just keep whipping balls in the box.
Just lump it down.
Yeah, but that's one thing. Before I sort of come to West Ham Online, that's one thing we failed to do really last season is get balls like going across the 18-yard box. Every time it was cutting it back and crossing from deep, really, if anything, into no one.
Exactly. And I don't like that. And it's exactly the way we played yesterday. And it's exactly the way I think we played mostly in the second half of the season, last season. Yeah. And I just think, I'm going to touch this quickly. I think when you've got players like Souček in your team, if he starts, obviously you know my thoughts on that anyway. it's just going to encourage us to cross balls in the box more. And I think if Cresswell's still in the team, like fucking God forbid, we're going to be fucked because he's just going to look. He's going to get on the ball, look up, see Scamacca and Souček in the box, and just whip balls from deep or try to. And I don't like that because that won't work. It's going to be too predictable. Yes, we've done it. We scored from it yesterday, but how many times did we score from that last season? It was very rare.
So
I'll talk about the system a bit more later because obviously you said you would, but I've got a lot of faults on the system. And reasons why Souček really just shouldn't be in the system next season.
Stay tuned, people. Stay tuned for Mitchell on the Souček later
I'm aggressive, but I'm calm and calculated, mate.
He's calm and calculated and coloured. That's what he is. West Ham Online. Scamacca, Broja. We've spoke about it for ages. Is Scamacca the right man for West Ham?
Look, attribute-wise and what he actually brings to the team, I'd say he is the right choice. Do I think he's going to flop? Yes, because I think that about every striker we sign in history. I've never had a positive feeling about a striker, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut when it comes to predicting how many goals he gets. But looking at it on the face of it, I think he's a very good signing in terms of scouting. I think he's got all the attributes like Mitch said. He's hungry. I keep seeing people compare him to Haller, and he's nothing like Haller.
Yeah, he will. I think we've got to stop that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's a fan base.
He's hungry. He's very good in the air. He's in the top 95 percentile in the air, which is very good for a forward.
I saw that. That was exceptional, man.
Yeah. But just because he's good in the air doesn't mean he's not good with the ball at his feet. He's also very good with the ball at his feet. And the most important thing is his striking ability is ridiculous. He can strike through a ball similar to Harry Kane in the way that he strikes through the ball, which is very encouraging. And obviously, he's a very good striker. His manager for the national team, Roberto Mancini, has said he's got all the attributes to go to the top. And I do think that if we get Kostic in, who overlaps well, gets to the byline, and also got 8 assists for his striker at Frankfurt 2 seasons ago, Andre Silva, they could strike up a really nice partnership. So I think that Scamacca is coming, and I think if we get Kostic, that will make him even better. But yeah, I have a bad feeling he'll flop, but I think that's just because I'm scared of every striker we sign since.
Oh, be a bit positive, West Ham Online. Be a bit positive. But listen, that's your opinion, man. I just want to get to this comment quickly, yeah? Pipeless. It is pink, bruv. I do like a pink Lacoste top. Just let everyone know that. Anyway, Lucas, Scamacca. The boy is coming to the bowl.
Yeah, I'm quite excited for him. One of your little questions that you asked earlier about Scamacca or Broja, I think Scamacca definitely is the better footballer for sure. Like he has the better attributes, better skills, probably football brain as well. Not saying Broja's stupid, but
yeah,
just in terms of how they play, I like Scamacca, but I still think Broja suits our system better, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
But from every striker we've been linked with, like properly linked with, not the bullshit ones, I think Scamacca would be. I would be happy about him because with David Moyes, and this is a testament to Mitch, there's just not like pure goal scorers anymore like there was 8-10 years ago in the Premier League. And especially with David Moyes, he doesn't like a pure goal scorer. He likes his strikers to make up where they're not necessarily great. Like Scamacca, he's not a lethal finisher, but he makes up with that with bringing others in play, a good touch. He runs hard. He's not fast, but he runs hard. I'm sure he is going to break somebody's shoulder this season when they go shoulder to shoulder with him.
Before he runs hard, but he makes them progressive runs. Every time he does make a run, it's not a pointless run. I think we've seen it before with Antonio. Before he runs into nowhere. Really, he's going nowhere. But with Scamacca, he makes them runs.
And again,
right
what he lacks in pace, he has upside in his strength. Like I'm not joking. We all know how big he is, but he's fucking strong as an ox. I wouldn't be surprised if he was as strong, if not stronger than Antonio, but Antonio just has the rare combination of pace and strength.
Yeah.
I think Scamacca, if he goes shoulder to shoulder with any center half in the league, I think I have the full confidence he's going to win because he can just go shoulder to shoulder with anyone. And I like the signing a lot. Hopefully, to God, he comes in, which he should. And yeah, just like Alfie said, I'm not going to put a number on him. We did talk a little bit about that in our space yesterday, but
stay tuned later for another one, perhaps.
Yeah, and I'm happy about it. I think he can bring a lot to the club because he's not just a striker. He seems to be a proper footballer.
I think he's a good signing. I was going to say my bit on in there. I think it's the right signing for me. When the man's played 36 games, scored 16 goals in Serie A, that to me says a lot. You're in a defensive league. You're against defensive-minded players who are schooled in Italy on how to defend and defend dirty at that. And he's not only has he scored 16 goals, but he's done it with a lower-ranked team. If he had done this for Juventus, you wouldn't be really praising it as such. But I think with Sassuolo, I think it is, he's done it. He's done it well. Do you know what I mean? And the goals that, if you watch his goals, they're all a mix. Headers, outside the box, close range, instinct finishes, everything. Right. So I do believe this is a Newman signing, and I do believe Newman has monitored this geezer for a year, and before going in there,
and he knows how to take a first touch.
Yeah, and Newman knows like players. That's one thing we've got to understand. Newman's a very old school. He knows his talent. So for me, I'll make it short and sweet. I think Broja is Broja. I think Scamacca is the man for West Ham, but I do believe it ain't the end for Broja. I think Broja could end up at West Ham. Yeah, I don't know why. I just got a funny feeling. I think
towards the end of the window could happen.
Yeah, it really could.
I just want to come to this comment quick, James, because Jazza replied to what I said, and he said all these attributes West Ham Online has just said are all the same as Haller. But some of the attributes I said, one, I said that he has the determination to get in the areas and like basically the bravery. Haller didn't have that. He looked half-arsed half the time. Another thing that I said that Scamacca has is brilliant ball striking ability like Harry Kane. Haller's shooting was wank, apart from when he done an overhead kick. His overhead
kick, it so was, and people forget that. It was. He scored tap-ins for fun. The difference with Scamacca, he's got finesse.
Yeah.
Haller had none of that.
Oh, Haller was so strange. He would strike through an overhead kick like an absolute missile. Yet, apart from Sheffield United, every time the ball came to his feet, his shots were softer than a bouncing ball.
And Haller never picked up the ball.
It was volleys. It was only volleys and tap-ins he could score.
And Haller never picked the ball up and ran. I think Scamacca can pick the ball up and run for a couple yards. And he's faster and stronger, I think.
He's got a much better first touch as well.
Yeah.
And just like Arnautovic had the best first touch I've ever seen at West Ham. And that, in terms of similarities, we knew Arnautovic with his great first touch really worked in our system. So hopefully, Scamacca with his great first touch.
I just want to get to a few comments before we move on to my next subject I want to talk about. Yeah, this one here from Paul. Yeah, Chelsea can't score goals at the minute. Right at the moment, sorry. I can't see them letting Broja go, especially as Werner is rumoured to want to leave them. Is that a possibility, lads? Quickly.
Money talks. So I mean, the right price, we can get him out of there.
I'll take Werner.
Would you say Berardi? He's better than Scamacca. Anyone?
He's a winger, though, isn't he, Berardi?
Very different players, but probably more established. But they play nothing alike. It's like comparing Zuma to Bowen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm slightly worried with Scamacca. Slightly now to talk about. From what I've seen, he seems to have a lot of runners alongside him when he plays, where he can plays in behind. I don't see, especially on the left-hand side. I can see Bowen doing that. Just on the left-hand side, I just can't see Ben
Maybe
Rama
if
or Fornals.
Kostic comes in, Mitch. Maybe that will be the.
That's so important for me. That's so vital. We get a left winger.
And why not bring up the man of the moment, and that is Kostic.
Real quick, I need to know everyone's opinion because Scarborough Hammer put a question in the group or put a question in the stream. What number do you think he's gonna wear? I would fucking love if he wore 91 again. That'd be class. Shake the Prem up a little bit.
I'll take it off for Antonio and give it to him. I give a fuck.
It's an interesting comment from H. Peters West Ham fan channel. Keep up the good work, brother. Would I arguably say Haller is a better striker at present? Scamacca has the higher ceiling, though.
There's no problem with that at all because I think Haller has the numbers to back it up. He just didn't do it in the Premier League.
He's more established, but I'm sorry, the guy is shocking.
I don't think he's a better footballer than Scamacca.
No, I don't rate Haller at all. Honestly, he played for Ajax. Literally, all his goals were tap-ins, which fair enough. I don't mind the tap-in, but honestly, I could score up front for Ajax.
Fair enough, West Ham online. But Kostic, Mitchell, you said how important it is about Kostic. Talk to me.
By the way, Haller will do shit at Dortmund. By the way, Kostic. We have to sign him. There's no two ways about that. Or a left winger. The fact Kostic is, a top class assister, and I don't know if he takes set pieces.
He does.
Honest, but he does, mate. Okay, he's not a bad set piece taker. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, then that's perfect. Then obviously, I still think obviously we need a left back. Kostic for me is a left winger, and he should play left wing. I'm not going to talk too much about the further back system because I don't really like it. Three at the back, five at the back. Everyone's talking about. I don't. I just think Kostic comes in as purely play on the left wing, and I think the front three of Kostic, Bowen, and what's his name, Scamacca will just be superb. And as I said earlier, just a minute ago, Scamacca looks like he needs runners off him and in behind on either side, and that's how he thrives. It seems like, and especially Berardi. Berardi really done that last season.
Do you think it's a worry though, Mitch? Do you think it's a worry that basically we haven't got no pace, really?
Well, if Kostic comes in, that's pace, isn't it? But he'd have to play left wing purely as a left winger because, for me, if he plays the left wing back, he's not been making those runs into the box like those starting runs off Scamacca because
he can, but he's going to be absolutely gassed.
Yeah, exactly. He may do it occasionally, but if you're playing pure as a left winger, he's to be doing that constantly. And for me, that's so much more important.
What do you think? I'm going to ask the whole room. What do you think when we done the space last night and people said about him playing left back?
I don't think
it's mad.
I don't know. I haven't seen him play left back, so he could be an incredible left back. To be fair, but
it could work. But he's definitely got poor defensive numbers in terms of tackling and all that. But certainly against the Man Cities, the Liverpools, and all of them, if we played him left back, we'd be asking for trouble.
Yeah, I don't think he's a left back. I think everyone can agree in here he's not a left back. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if he is our Cresswell replacement.
I agree with Thunder on this. Right, he can't play left back, mate. But because I don't think he can defend. I think he can go forward. I think he's like Arthur Mezzawaku at left back. If I'm honest, he can go forward. He's a better going forward than he's defending.
But again, there are some matches where I'd rather see some spark from left back than watch Aaron Cresswell walk up the pitch and shit his pants in defense.
I know what you're saying, but Mitchell's been saying that for about the last 9 months, mate. Ever since I've known Mitchell about.
So, what'd you say?
Ever since I've known Mitchell, he's always said about Cresswell. He walks around rather than runs around.
I said, there's just some matches I'd rather see someone at left back that provides a little bit of spark rather than see Cresswell walk up the pitch and shit his pants in defense. If you're asking me, if you put Kostic at left back, even though he's not a left back, in my opinion, I would still feel more confident with him at left back than Aaron Cresswell because he adds more, in my opinion, than Cresswell.
Oh yeah,
I know what you're saying. But do you feel? I'm going to ask everyone. Yeah, that West Ham are starting to become a bit predictable in.
But I don't want
getting Kostic in. Yeah, getting Scamacca in. So we're going to get the ball to Kostic, and Kostic is going to keep crossing balls in.
No, because I don't, because that will be the one thing. At least then we'll have the overlap on the left-hand side, and then we'll have Sufal holding the width on the right. We'll be predictable in the fact that we only use the wings, and that's why we need to get Zielinski from Napoli in as well. But in terms of which side we pick, I don't think it will be as predictable if we get Kostic, because unlike Masuaku, who overlaps less than a dead dog, Kostic likes an overlap. He likes to get in behind. And if we have the space when he provides that overlap, he can switch it to the right or choose that option.
So
he's a bit more skillful than what people think. I'm not saying he's going to cut in and shoot on his right foot, but I mean, I think he can cut in on the right and make a pass.
He actually is both-footed, though, isn't he? Kostic. He can play all down the left, but he can also play on the right if needed. Like, he'd rather not.
He's two-footed, though.
Well, it means he can do it, though, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, Ryan Fredericks played on the left and he'd done all right. Do you know what I mean? So, obviously, with him, with Kostic coming in, I want to ask all you, what do you think our chances are of getting him? West Ham Online, I'm going to start off with you. Do you think, give me a percentage, the chance of us getting Kostic?
54%.
Oh, fucking hell. I like the odd numbers, Sam. Lucas?
55%.
I'm loving the optimism tonight. You know what I mean? It must be something in the air.
It's just that Champions League football aspect.
Yeah, we've heard a bid accepted. And the agent's the same as Scamacca. He wants the deal done, and I read about an hour ago.
I would never thought I'd see the day that I'm the most positive one out of you two boys at the minute. But Mitchell, what's the percentage?
50%.
I swear to God, Mitch, if you say 56%, mate, I'll go fucking.
I don't know in my head always. I think 65. If I had to put it, 65% for me.
Yeah, listen, I think West Ham are really going to try and push this one big time.
After he signs Scamacca, I think we're really going to push, and that's why I think we're more likely to than not. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's like we need a left-sided player who can do everything really, and he can do everything. Let's be honest.
Sorry, Buster Cherry is just that Mitchell realised Scamacca has a lower pass accuracy on his right foot than Souček. I don't even want to explain that because
he's a striker.
He's a striker that fucking tries playing players in behind. Souček is a defensive midfielder that plays it side to side. Like, how the fuck does Souček should the way Souček plays, he should be having at 88% pass.
Do you know what? One day I'm just going to do this on private, mate, so you can't see no fucking comments.
No, do you know what?
If he's being serious, people are so fucking stupid. It's unreal, mate.
I'm going to say this. Right? I'm saying this at the minute. No, I'm saying this at the minute. Right? We're going to move on because I want to hear about Mitchell's system, which involves Souček.
What did you say?
No, it doesn't involve Souček. It doesn't involve Souček.
It doesn't involve Souček.
What did you say your percentage was, James?
I'm going to say about 70%. I think he ends up here. I really do. I think West Ham, because of the Lingard thing, what's happened, and I don't want to talk no more about that twat. I think West Ham are going to push hard to get this geezer in. And let's be honest, all of us should know what Kostic is like because we've seen him in the flesh. We've seen him in 2 games against us, and he was pretty decent in both. Let's be honest. So I think it's a no-brainer about getting this man in. But let's talk about the system, yeah, because I keep seeing the system, and people keep saying 5 at the back, Mitchell. I don't want to see it. But what's your thoughts on that to stop Souček in the team? Take it away.
If we play 5 at the back with Souček in the team and Scamacca, we're absolutely fucked, in my opinion. We would just play it down the wing, left, right, and centre. Always whipping balls in. It's just not for me. And what Alfie said earlier about the only reason why we play down left is because our build-up play is better. It's because Souček can't fucking link up play anywhere near as good as Rice can. So when you do play it down the right with Sofal and Souček, and for me, when they're trying to pass together, they're like fucking Dumb and Dumber. They don't have a clue. Sofal has got a fucking... He's got a loose cannon in his head, but sometimes he just goes, fuck it, I'm going to smack the ball up the pitch for no reason. And that
he does do that.
That winds me up about Sufal quite a bit. And I think if you had someone a lot more calmer and better on the ball instead of Souček in that right side position, whether that be Onana, Zielinski. I would personally play Zielinski alongside Rice if he was to play 3 at the back, so I think we could do that. Then I think that would work out much, much better than just playing Souček. Because then we could play down the right as well. We can build up play along the right-hand side instead of just building up on the left, which is what we do. Because if you watch West Ham, we play balls down the right. We can't calmly pass the ball about, create attacks down the right. It's like Soufal looks up, we're rushing everything. Like Souček's got a rush, he panics, he gets his arms up, he looks all awkward, and he passes it back to Zuma, and then we go to the left, and then we build up play. It's just so awkward down the right-hand side. And then when we do finally build up and we get further up the pitch and we go up to Bowen, that's when it starts getting a bit more interesting. But that's just too one-dimensional. And I think we really do need a new midfielder in, whether it be Zielinski or Onana. I saw a link today with Fabian Ruiz. Whoever it is, I just think we do need someone better going forward and creating play and linking up play than Souček next to Rice.
Fair enough, Mitchell. Well articulated. West Ham Online, what do you think on that?
Well, I know that Mitch doesn't really like Souček, which I respect. And I do
He doesn't really like Souček. Are you sure? Are you sure, West Ham Online?
I don't dislike him. I just don't think he's that good. I don't think he's right. It's not about disliking someone. I just don't think he's right for where we want to go.
All right, Mitchell, let's get this clear, everyone. Mitchell doesn't dislike him. He just doesn't think he's very good, which is fair enough.
He's got I don't dislike him.
I've said this before. I think our two wings are very different, and we've got a decent balance, but I want an excellent balance, and I'm going to try and explain it as best as I can. I don't mind the fact that our left-hand side is more build-up heavy than the right-hand side, because what I think we have got on the right-hand side is in Bowen, probably the only player in our team who I like to see isolate with the fullback, because he can come inside and hit it on his left foot, which he done so many times last season, or he can take it past the fullback and assist someone else, like he did for Ben Rama's goal, for example, at Southampton, Vlasic's goal at Watford. And I think us building up on the left-hand side before switching to the right, which we can do with Rice's passing range, allows Bowen to do that. As well as the fact we have Soufal, who's got a brilliant engine on him. So if we can get him isolated as well on the right-hand side, he can obviously get a cross in. Whereas on the left-hand side, it's the side with the better short passes. However, they have the engines of dead dogs. We've got Aaron Creswell, who's a good short passer, but can't overlap at all.
Yeah, but West Ham Online, before you carry on, he's got to change the way he plays that, surely.
Oh, he can't do it. He just can't do it. He literally can't. I watched him try and do it yesterday. He just can't do it. So I think that's why Moyes had to sort of make this change. So we've got Creswell with short passes, Fornals who can't get him behind either, and then obviously Rice who can do whatever he wants. And I think that's also why Antonio drifts wide to the left as well, because if we're just relying on Creswell and Fornals to get in behind, you've got all the pace of a dead cat, and whereas Antonio can actually take someone on. So I like the two dynamics of the side. However, I think they can improve, and I think what Kostic does is actually gives us a threat on the left-hand side in behind rather than to feet, which all them players do. So I think we're starting to get somewhere with Kostic where we've got an even better balance on both sides. But I would like to see even more. I'd personally like to see Ismail Assar, because that would mean that our striker can stay in the middle more and not have to drift wide, because Sarr can take on his man. He's got the pace in behind in transition. And obviously, as I've mentioned earlier, we need someone in the centre, because if we go wide too much, we're so predictable. And Zielinski looks to be that man if we can get him. It's another good identification by Rob Newman, in my opinion. But yeah, I think the three-back system's decent, but there's certainly got its weaknesses. And if we don't get any creativity in the middle, we can be far too predictable, in my opinion.
Before I hand it over to Lucas, I'm going to say my bit on this. I'm not pleased about this 5 at the back bollocks. I really am not. I really, really am not, mate. Honestly. I'm going to say it quite openly like that. For me, West Ham should be playing a 4-3-3. right, and being compact in the middle. Yeah, because if you're going to get box-to-box players, right, what really good is a box-to-box player in a 3-4-3? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's too compact, like, and it sets us up defensively, in my opinion, to hit teams on the break. Where if we're playing Bournemouth, Fulham, to name a few, I want West Ham to go at these teams like 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 and really have it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just not convinced. I've seen us play that system a few times over the years. And every time we've played that 3-4-3 or 5-3-2 or whatever it is, we have been absolutely done over big time.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? I remember games last year against Wolves away where we lost, Tottenham away where we lost, Chelsea away where we lost. Like, it was all them games where we just seem like we just can't get going when we're playing a 3-4-3. We haven't beat Brighton in so many, like, in the Premier League. And they play that 3-4-3 religiously, like literally. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not convinced. I really am not on that. Lucas.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the back five, but from what I've seen, I think X said on his podcast that they're trying out a five in the back as like a plan B. I guess just for a different look. Obviously not attacking wise, but just a different look to set up in.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving forward, five in the back for me is not the answer because one, I absolutely cannot stand Cresswell in a back five or back three for that matter, however you want to slice it. If we are going to do it,
I prefer him to that than the back four, though, don't you?
If he plays in the back three, but even then, we've got a Ged to play there, so he's got no chance, mate.
Oh yeah. Okay, I think that's going to be our signing.
And honestly, if we were to pick a third center half to plug in besides Cresswell, I'd still rather see Ben Johnson play as a third center half than Cresswell. Even though Cresswell does possess a good ball to cross in, I would love to try and find a solution on how to get. And I'm not saying we can do this, but kind of like what Man City would do with Cancelo, how instead of overlapping, Cancelo and Zinchenko would just like drift into the midfield. They get the ball at their feet and play passes. I'm not saying we're ever going to do that, but I think Cresswell would be like decent in a role like that where he drifts into the midfield and he plays a ball through, plays a ball wide. But that's never going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't think his passing's that good though. Really.
Do you know? I think I've got to admit I don't like Cresswell, but I think his short passing's
yeah,
really
I think he's good in possession.
I think 5-yard passes and 10-yard passes, he should be fucking good at it, shouldn't he?
Well,
I mean,
say that to half the players in our team, and they won't be.
Yeah, but the five in the back, I don't really like it, but I don't mind it as a plan B or a different look. But I still think going forward, I've hammered this home. A 4-3-3 would be our best option because that gives Souček a little bit of freedom, Rice a bit of freedom, but we still need that third midfielder to either be an all-around midfielder or just provide something different. And just if we play five in the back, we're taking away an attacking option, and we can't do that. And I don't want to do that.
Well, I'm going to ask you this. Yeah, I'm going to go. I want two systems from the areas, from two systems from audience. Yeah, I'm going to start off with a 4-2-3-1 system. I want everyone to pick their team that they want, right, in a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, so I'm going to start off with Mitchell first.
And is this with our current squad?
Current squad, including Scamacca and Kostic. Yeah.
Okay.
So if we get both of them in, I want your 4-2-3-1 first. So I'm going to start off with Mitchell. Fire away your team for 4-2-3-1, Mitch.
Okay. And I will just say really quickly, just because I was just thinking about it, just really quickly. Look at the way we played against Norwich, especially last season. Obviously, I know it was Norwich, but the way we played, if we took that to any other team in the league and played with the same amount of confidence and then chopped and changed the personnel with the new players we're bringing in, we were very different that day. We were very creative. We played down the middle. We played down left and right. We brought a play on all fronts down the middle for the sides. If we played like that, then I've got no problem with us progressing. I think we're doing really well. I think we need to do more of that next season. 4-2-3-1. So I would line up. Oh, mate, that's tough. I just realised, fucking hell. I might have to say Cresswell still.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick.
Yeah.
No, well, I want you to fire your team out at me, Mitch, right now. So you've got the goalkeeper.
Sick. All right, Aviola,
Yeah.
Sofa, Zuma, Aged, left back. Makes me feel sick.
Just say
fuck.
It's got to be Creswell.
Do you
Cresswell.
go Cresswell or do you go Kostic?
You have to play it safe.
Cresswell.
Gotta play it
Cresswell.
safe.
Right.
I would then play Rice and Downs, and then I'd play on the left Kostic, Fornals in the middle, Bowen on the right, Scamacca up top.
Fair enough, Mitch. Fair enough. West Ham Online team.
Well, if we were to use a 4-2-3-1 first game of the season, what would I go with?
Yeah.
Ariola, Soufal, Zuma, Aged, Creswell, Rice, Souček, Kostic, Fornals, Bowen, Antonio.
Ooh, there's some mackerel in there. Lucas.
Areola, Soufal, Zuma, Aged, Cresswell, Rice, Souček, Kostic, Fornals, Bowen, and I would personally do Scamacca up front. And because theoretically, I think it would be a pretty aggressive and ballsy lineup if we were to, say, put Antonio out on the left wing, but that would leave us with no substitution, like a good sub option. So you'd have to put Antonio or Scamacca on the bench.
I think personally, and I'm not even saying he has to play up front, but I know Antonio gets a lot of criticism, but I think we will really struggle in terms of getting up the pitch if we don't have Antonio in the lineup.
I don't know West Ham Online on that. I think sometimes he falls over quite a lot. I'm going to do my 4-2-3-1. Ariola in goal for me. Kufal, Zuma, Aguerd. Someone put a great comment in, and it sort of swayed me. Ben Johnson on the left-hand side instead of
oh no, I'd rather die.
Cresswell. Well,
nah, not for me.
Let's not say that. I mean,
I'd rather play a back three and put Ben Johnson there.
Souček, Rice. I do like Kostic, I must admit. So he would have to take Benny's place, in my opinion. And so it'd be Kostic. Bowen on the right. The number 10 is an interesting one. I think you can either go Pablo, Benny. I'll probably go for Pablo Fornals, if I'm being honest. And up front, it would have to be Scamacca for me. It would have to be. Like, Antonio's been good, but Scamacca's coming in to really own that spot. So that would be my 4-2-3-1. Now, Mitchell, 3-4-3.
3-4-3. Oh, interesting. Oh. Okay. Aviola, Johnson, Zuma, Aged. I really don't like Zuma in the back three. And I'll tell you what, if we was to play that system next season and Zuma wasn't working out, I would be ruthless and take him out and put a Bonner in. Because someone said the other day that I think Zuma gets a lot more praise than I think he deserves by the West Ham fan base. And I think they're saying that Bonner doesn't get enough still. And I think people are sleeping on Bonner because he's getting old. But that means nothing because apparently he's been looking good in training anyway. Which is a fair point, and I thought about it, and he's got a very good point actually. But anyway, that back three of Zuma again, Ben Johnson, midfield four of Kostic on the left, Rice, Downs, Soufal, and the front three of Ben Rama, Scamacca, and Bowen.
Ooh. West Ham Online.
No.
No.
Antonio on the left.
Yeah.
Scamacca, Bowen. My confidence in Ben Rama is dwindling.
Fair enough. Fuck you, Mitch. Anyway. West Ham Online.
Ariola, Zuma right centre back because he can't play in the centre because he can't pass a parcel at the moment. Dawson, Aguerd, Kostic on the left, Rice left centre, mid, and then Souček, Soufal, Bowen. Well, at the moment, if we were to do it right now, I'd play Antonio and then Fornals, but eventually, obviously, Scamacca would get in.
Who was your three centre halves again?
Zuma, Dawson, and Agard.
No, Bonner for you.
No, just because I've not seen him in absolutely ages, I don't have a clue how he's going to be. So I'm pretty much just forgetting about him until I watch him play.
Lucas, 3-4-3, mate.
Ariel in goal, Zuma right center half, Agard center of that three, Johnson on the left, Kostic on the left mid, Rice, Souček, Soufal, and then I'd go Antonio, Scamacca, and Bowen front three.
Ooh. For me, I'm going to say, obviously, Ariana in goal. The three centre halves, I think you've got to play a Bonner. I think a Bonner in a three is not too bad. I think he's more control. Like, he will marshal that back line. I don't think Dawson can do what a Bonner can do. Really, I think a Bonner's a good defender. Do you know what I mean? Zuma and Agard. I think Aguerd's top class. Right wing back. If it was my way, I'd have Ashby, mate. I would. I think Kafal's good. Don't get me wrong, but I think Ashby is lightning on that.
If he gets more minutes in the Prem and he proves himself, then I would 100% much rather Ashby.
Yeah, because I think Ashby's better. Yeah, I think he's much better going forward than Kafal. Don't get me wrong, Kafal's good. And listen, there's nothing against Kafal, but I just think Ashby is a level where I think, you know what, he can do some damage. Obviously, the other side, you'd have to go Kostic in the middle. Souček and Rice. And up front, it's an interesting one, really, because you don't want too many players who play similar. But if you have Scamacca, Antonio, and Bowen, they're all going to make them same runs, so to speak. So you want to sort of space it out a little bit. For me, I'd have Fornals in there. I would, yeah. I'd have Fornals as the number 10, and I'd have a two-man attack in probably Scamacca and Bowen. I think.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah,
that way you can sort of work around.
That's not 3-4-3, then, is it?
Well, it is a 3-4-3 because you got you ain't gonna have three centre forwards, are you? You're gonna have like two and then one.
No, but that's
3-4-1-2. That's what it is.
I prefer to play like that. I prefer.
How many times have we seen Pablo up front? Fucking loads of times.
I've been saying this on Twitter for ages. This 3-4-1. Oh, and I've got to say as well, I forgot Ben Rama in the reserves. Due to consistently crap performances.
Well, if you keep on saying that, you'll be consistently not coming on in no more, brother. You would have wondered what you're saying about. 100%. Do you know what I mean? That's what about that. Yeah, but can you see the difference in the teams there, though? Like how defensively we look. Like if we go three at the back with wing backs, then Declan Rice is a defensive-minded player. Souček is going to be more advanced, but is more defensive in like the grand scheme of things. So when you weigh them up, the 4-2-3-1 looks more attacking in my opinion. I come to know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think it's that much more because, especially if you're putting Antonio on the left, I think that front.
And I just think a 4-2-3-1 is so much more interchangeable than a lot of other formations. Like you can, in a 4-2-3-1 base, you could literally move to like 4 different formations if you want.
Yeah, I do like the 4-2-3-1.
There's not a lot of formations where you can just go to a complete different formation. The 4-2-3-1 is not only the safest, but the most adjustable and most flexible. If you want to go more attacking, more defensive, more creative, that's the way.
Do you think it's a big risk? Yeah, but do you think this is a big risk for Moyes to try and change the system right now? I
don't think he is. I don't think he is.
No, yeah, I don't think. I think
we just need a plan B, which we did not have last season, which we should all admit we did not.
Yeah, and we were all complaining about not having a plan B. Remember, everyone was going, "Why do we not? Why do we not have no plan B?"
We may not like this plan B, but at least it's a plan B. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I understand that. Don't get me wrong, and I agree with you. We do need a plan B. How many times we were one-dimensional last year? It was frustrating. But I think trying to implement some of the things that we've done in pre-season. I know everyone says it's only pre-season, but he tried things out the other day, West Ham Online, and you called it on the space the other day. You turned around and said that he's tried to do what he was doing against Rangers, and we got completely destroyed in that second
that
half.
was terrible. That press in the second half was shocking, and that was in a 4-2-3-1. So I hope we don't see that kind of crap press again that we done in the second half.
It's very different personnel, though.
Yeah. It is different. Yeah.
So we've all said that. Now, where does how do you pronounce his name? Zielinski. Where does he fit in? Where does he fit in at West Ham? Does he take Souček's place? I ain't going to ask Mitchell just yet. I know he'll say but
he could possibly take Fornal's place.
Wow,
that makes me want to cry.
Me too. But...
Well, I do agree with Lucas. Unfortunately, I think he will play as the attacking midfielder and in a 4-2-3-1. And then the more I look at it, I think Kostic will be on the left, and I think I'll be in the ground in tears because I'll be seeing Pablo Fornal's name on the bench.
Yes, I must admit.
100%.
If he wasn't Polish, I'd be totally against it. But you got to know those Polish fucking blokes have that like fight in their blood. They naturally do.
Are we West Ham Balkan there, Lucas? It seems like they're signing really Balkan people, mate. You know what I mean?
Hey, some things you just kind of put in the air and they happen, and I'm not mad about it.
Well, I'm going to lead on to someone who's a Balkan. He's one of your Balkans, all right? And I'm going to get all your thoughts before we wrap this up. Vlasic, let's talk about.
Sorry, can I just say about that thing quickly to Zielinski?
Go ahead, bro.
Cheers, mate. I would personally try out midfield, 4-3-3 if Zielinski come in. Play whoever on the left, and Antonio Benrahma doesn't really matter so much.
Yeah.
But I would play a midfield three of Rice. It'd be a very similar system to base City setup. I'd play Rice and then Fornals and Zielinski slightly further up at that midfield three, and then the front three of Bowen, Scamacca, and Thingy. And I just think the way City build up is the perfect way to kind of look at and see, could we play like that? Could this system really work? If it's worked at the top level with Pep Guardiola, might as well try it out, give it a go. And I think we would have the personnel then to give that a go with Fornals, because he could play that kind of Bernardo Silva kind of role where he's not great defensively, but still will put in the work rate. And then Zielinski is probably better at pass. I don't know. He's to be honest, they offer that good balance. I think Zielinski and Fornals. Zielinski's probably a bit more energetic going forward.
I think Zielinski's probably a better dribbler and going forward than Fornals. Yeah. But Fornals is an absolute fucking dog, and he does have a decent defensive qualities as Zielinski. He has the work rate and he has the determination, but I think he's better going forward and on the ball. Passing up in the air, one could have a better day than the other.
And the reason why I'm saying about the 4-3-3 is because I'm just thinking about us attacking wise, and that is much more attacking. Obviously, you drop in Souček or Downs or whatever you want to drop as a defensive minded player. But I just think we are, for me right now, better defensively than we are going forward. And that is why I think we need to go more attacking and think about ways where we can change it going forward.
I do feel that we are like that though. I think defensively, I think we've got it sewn up. We get a good left back in. I think we're good. I think we've got a good goalkeeper. I think the centre halves are good. I think Aguilar's going to be absolutely first class for West Ham. I really do. And I can't wait to see it.
Yes, being a dog is a compliment. I guess that's my American slang showing.
That is your American slang showing. But let's to end the show. Let's talk about Vlasic, because he's the one who people have been saying about. Is he revitalised because of pre-season? For me, I'm not convinced, because people keep saying, well, it's only a pre-season friendly on the one hand, and then on the other hand, they're saying Vlasic has played well.
No, so I would like to start off with this.
Take it away, brother.
I want us to be completely honest. And mind you, I'm going to give my preface real quick. In my opinion, I think preseason is very important. I don't think the results matter, but I think preseason is extremely important. Not only getting your legs back, but to show if you've improved, if you worked on certain things in your game. So to me, preseason is very important. And I want us all to be completely honest. And I'm saying this with no bias aside because I've said plenty of times that Benrahma should play over Vlasic. I think Benrahma is better than Vlasic in certain moments and current situations. But who do we honestly think has had the better preseason so far, Benrahma or Vlasic? I just want everyone's opinion.
Yeah, but one thing to back on that.
No,
yeah,
it's just a question. I have no. There's no like.
But is there anyone else? Has anyone else had a really good preseason? Has Lanzini had a good preseason?
That goes to my question I asked on Twitter, or not question, but I've said I think Vlasic has had a better preseason than Lanzini and Benrahma. But if we here's a new question: if we had to say who's had the better preseason, Vlasic, Benrahma, or Lanzini, who are we saying?
Vlasic.
You would say Vlasic, but if you was to look at it like this year and you used to say, well, what one player stood out in pre-season for West Ham, you would say Vlasic because no one else really has. Do you know what I mean? So it's an interesting.
But I still don't think so. Basically, what I'm getting at is while I do think preseason is very important, and I do think that Vlasic has had a better preseason than Lanzini and Benrahma, we still need to see it on the pitch in the Premier League, and I think it's very premature to basically put him in the starting 11 like when the season starts, which a lot of people seem to like want to do, which I don't think is the correct option, because if you're asking me in that attacking midfield position or even left wing, the hierarchy as of right now goes Fornals, Benrahma, Lanzini, Vlasic. But because of preseason and depending on our last one against Lens, Vlasic could possibly move into that third spot, maybe second, because like I said, Lanzini, Benrahma, while I do still think that they've shown more and done better than Vlasic in history, Vlasic is showing us right now in preseason that he's not only improved, but he's playing better.
But he's still not showing enough for me. He's still not showing that end. I'm gonna say end product because he looks okay building up. Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's in product because he looks right in his build-up play. He looks tidy. He'll do nice touches, but then when he gets in around the area, his shooting is pretty shit for me.
But is he doing this though? Is he doing this to look for a move? Because if you're playing shit,
look, the thing is, he hasn't.
I think he wants to be here.
Been good. He hasn't even been good in pre-season. He's just shown flashes of looking decent. Looking like
I agree with that. Right. Yeah, I agree.
And in comparison, Lanzini has been, well, it's only pre-season, but Lanzini's been poor. Benrahma I'm getting a bit fed up of because he keeps ghosting every week. And Fornals has been relatively quiet.
I can't get this. I know we have a little mini debate now, but I can't understand where people can say it ain't a pre-season friendly, then judge them because and say, oh, look how well they've done in pre-season. Like, you can't have it both ways.
No, because the same thing comes back to what me and Mitch said at the start of the show. The result, I couldn't care less about. Right. Individual performances, I think you can judge. And when I keep seeing Benrahma doing the same things in moments that he done last season, it just doesn't look like he's changed at all.
And that's the big thing I said earlier. Like, individual performances are all well and good, but that's never going to translate to a whole team's performance. And unfortunately, and I will say this on Vlasic, unfortunately, he has had good individual performances, but that hasn't translated to the team playing well in preseason.
Yeah.
But we can say that about the whole preseason because we have yet to have one good squad performance.
I don't think I've seen a good squad performance in preseason, which is a worry for me. Really, like when you really weigh it up, we played Servette. Like we played Servette away, fucking bang empty ground near enough, and like we got the win, and it was under 23s who scored. Do you know what I mean? You go to Ipswich and you win 2-1.
Fucking shit goals.
Fair enough. Then you go to fucking who's the other one? Reading, and we end up withdrew 2 games now, and we got hammered against Rangers. So it's not exactly ideal preparation, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it has been poor. It has been crap, to be honest.
But I think we can all agree, just our left wing situation is a bit shit, because we all know Fornals is not a left winger, but he only plays there because of his work rate. Ben Rama, just preseason wise and last season, very hot and cold. Vlasic obviously was not good enough last season. And Lanzini again, he's not a left winger either. And he is getting older, and he is just so fragile and weak in the midfield. But I mean, he's quality. He's our little jewel. But in certain matches that he's asked to play, he's just so weak on the ball.
He's quite funny, because someone just said in the chat, people keep saying Vlasic scored. So did Benny, mate, against Boreham Wood. But people say, it's only a friend. It's only Boreham Wood. So you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? But for me, Vlasic I've just not been impressed with him since he's been at West Ham. I just don't see no spark there. I think me and Mitchell, when me and Mitchell was doing the player ratings last year, Mitch can back me up on this. The amount of times we said, he looked okay, but there was nothing there. It was like, I'm waiting for him to just burst into life, and there's nothing. There's just nothing there. Like, he does the simple pass, the simple fucking work well, but that's it. There's nothing else. Do you know what I mean? There's no end product, really. There's I don't know how many assists he got last year, if he got any. I think he got one, in the Europa League. So I don't know. I really, really don't. Before we go, I want to ask you all a question. And who are we selling before the end of the window? That is another question that keeps popping up, that I keep seeing on Twitter and social media. Because if these players come in, some of these players are going to have to go. And could Ben Rama go? Could Vlasic go? Could even Souček go?
Fucking hope so. Purely for the money, and I think if he was in the squad, we would force it. We would kind of almost go, Souček's there. There's a stigma around. You've got to play with Souček. For me, I think you know my point. Souček anyway, so I'm going to it. And by the way, Souček has been our best player, I think, probably pre-season, last 2 games.
Yeah.
But that means absolutely fuck all in terms of us playing well, because if he's playing well individually, we're not playing well as a squad. And I think we play much better as a team without him, which I do, then it means absolutely
until he does
all.
it in the season, none of this really matters. You can only speculate. And not saying that anyone's speculation is wrong or right. You can only that's really all you can go off of, and hope that Souček's arc is going to keep going into the season.
Well, if I was manager of West Ham, I would say Souček is available for sale for, I don't know, 30 million. He can go. Or say 40, and then someone puts 30 million bid in, sell him, and then because Lille are willing to accept bids for Onana if it's enough, and that's a fact. So if we was to then up our bid with the money we got from Souček, I would honestly, I think our squad would be so much better off if we had Onana instead of Souček. And then you've got Downs, Rice, Onana, and then maybe Coventry in there, and then you can focus on your other attacking players. That is a great midfield base then to work with, I think, in terms of defensive players, and then you can build off that. And then we still have more funds as well, because obviously if we want to bid 40, we've already bid, was it 32 million for Onana? So if we was to bid next 10, and then get 30 million for Souček, we've got essentially almost an extra 20 million to spend on what we was planning to. So then we could put that towards, a left winger or a left back, whoever.
Yeah, I just want to say this, that I've got a Newcastle fan, I think, black and white, saying West Ham are shit, mate. Yeah, I just see it in there. But it is what it is. West Ham Online, take it away.
Well, I think the thing is, Souček, he's not going to change overnight. Although his passing's been better in pre-season. Hello?
Yeah, go on, carry on.
Am I back, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Although
Souček's
passing's been better in pre-season, which it has been, I think a lot of it is coincidental. He's not going to develop technical ability overnight. So 35 million, 30 million, I agree with Mitch. I'd take that for Souček. If we got an offer of 10, 15 million plus for Ben Johnson, I'd accept that as well. Ben Rama, decent offer for him, and I'd let him go because he's just I'm fed up of him. Obviously,
That's it.
Creswell, £3.50. Anyone take him? Let me think. Apart from
That's
that, I
welcome.
wouldn't look to sell anyone. But yeah, those are the offers I'd accept. And I'd, if there's a decent offer for Vlasic as well, obviously, which what we won't get, but if we did get one, I'd accept that as well.
Lucas, to end it on this, bruv?
Yeah, I think X also put in his update that we are looking for another center half, so I think Diop is definitely going. If Kostic comes in, I think Masuaku could be out the door because there's really no.
Oh
more
yeah,
need
yes,
for
please.
him. And I really think that's it. Maybe Darren Randolph gets an offer or something.
Okay. So,
then
Lucas, if
Trott
we got a
becomes
bid
our
of
third.
45 million for Souček, would you not accept it if it was being reinvested?
If it it's 100% fact it's going to be reinvested.
If you was the manager at West Ham and you were given the funds and they said, all right, 85% of the funds from Souček will be given back into the transfer budget,
then
you
yes,
accept
I'd
that?
go and get Onana, whatever it took.
Yeah.
So
And this is the thing with Souček. Like, as good as some people make out to him, other clubs ain't as interested in him. There's a reason why, because clubs don't look at Souček, watch him play, go, this is the player we want out of club.
People got to realize we play a complete different style of football than probably 80% of the Premier League teams. And that's a fact. Like when we had that argument about Souček, when someone said, Mitch's favorite tweet of all time, when someone said that Souček walks into any midfield in the Big Six, that's just wrong. While I'm not saying I don't,
any of them.
on the record, I don't think Souček is a shitty player, but that's just wrong and unfactual. Souček is a very certain type of player that only certain types of clubs and managers want. Souček is not a commodity. He is a certain necessity. And for Moyes, under Moyes, I think Souček is a very good player, but anywhere else, he'd probably not be very good at all.
Oh, that's what I wanted to make a point of. Same thing's happening with Conor Gallagher, and I made this point when people were saying to get him in. Conor Gallagher is not that good at football. Like what he did at Palace was similar to what Souček did in that season for us.
He's been kind of shit for Chelsea this preseason.
Oh, he's awful. He can't pass. He was never going to make it at Chelsea. I don't get why people thought he was going to make it. He can't pass. He runs about a bit and scores a few goals. He'd do well for Palace.
I told all my pals this months and months ago.
Yeah.
I was like, Mitch, come on. He's young as well. How can you say that?
Mitch, why are you always right, bro? Why are you always right?
Mate, I've been asking myself the same thing for years. The only thing I think I've ever been wrong on about West Ham in terms of opinions of players is probably
Dawson.
Yeah, probably. I think everyone was wrong about Dawson. It wasn't like one of those ones where, I don't think anyone would have said, "Oh, Dawson's going to come in and smash it," because especially at a time when we was linked with Tomori, and Tomori looked like he might have been coming, and that fucked up, and then we got linked with fucking Craig Dawson.
Epic Hash Time said, "You don't think he walk into Man United? Them midfielders are awful." No, I don't. He simply can't.
Especially under Ten Hag, absolutely zero shot.
Yeah, he would not start.
Yeah,
but I do think he's better than fucking that absolute shit hound, Scott McTominay. It is an absolute one of life's greatest mysteries how he is making money as a footballer. He is absolutely shit, Scott McTominay.
Yeah, I do agree, but at least he's better at passing than Souček. So automatically,
I've got a lot of people on this channel who just hate players, isn't it?
He should be playing in the championship. I'm not kidding. Scott McTominay is a shit footballer. And Siri's listening to me right now, waiting for me to stop talking so she can say something. But she's canceled.
Well, you can ring her up shortly because I'm ending this stream. Listen, lads, it's been an absolute pleasure having you all on tonight. Mitchell, thanks for coming on, bro. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me as always, James.
Lucas, thank you very much.
You got it.
Yeah, and West Ham Online. Pleasure as always, brother. Yeah.
Hit the like button, subscribe,
Oh,
hit
and
the notification bell.
Hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell, get James to 1K, and also check Twitter tonight because we're going to do a space, but strictly after Love Island.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love Island's going to come on shortly, yeah, but we can't talk about that because Lucas is about two weeks behind. But
it's not my fault. It's America, you know.
It's America, baby. It's America. Listen, I want to thank everyone in the chat tonight.
That's the price of freedom.
I know. I've had over 140 people in my chat tonight watching tonight, so I really do appreciate everyone who's watching. It's been a bit of a mad couple of days, if I'm being honest. We had some bad news the other day, which we're slowly getting over, and we're all getting there slowly. Peach will be missed, but he will be so happy to see some players coming out in at West Ham. I will say that. So yeah, please do hit the like button and please do subscribe to the channel. Also, it goes a long way. It really helps me out and the lads because they're a part of this journey with me. It ain't just me on my own. This is not my channel. It's ours. Yeah. And listen, I started it up a long time ago, but these lads are a part of it. And without their input, then listen, I'll be sitting here talking bollocks on my own. So let's be real. Anyway, I'll leave it at that with you guys. Enjoy your upcoming week. Stay safe out there. And I will see you again in the next one.
Yes, I do. Fun to enjoy.